What is up, guys, and welcome to the Spoils of Pandaria Normal Mode Raid Guide. As always, in these normal mode guides, the abilities will be scrolling above my head, so make sure that you take a look at those so you can see exactly how some of the abilities will affect your raid. How we killed this boss was actually more of a Zerg strat, and this is a very much a trash-esque boss with a few little abilities thrown in, so what you really need to worry about in this fight is just kind of understanding what things will wipe your raid and what things to kind of control. So the biggest things that you need to know in this fight is, don't stand in bad things. So yellow pools that spawn, tornadoes that spawn, pretty simple stuff like that. The only real mechanics that you do want to stand in is when you kill the bigger adds, you will see these orbs that spawn on the ground. Now if you pick these up, you'll see these tidal waves coming out. Now they will either do a healing or a damage increase for you depending on your spec, so you do want to try to pick those up whenever those drop, as they're only available for a limited amount of time. In our group, because of our gear level at this point, we didn't really need to do that, but if you are having trouble pushing heals or losing people or just pushing the numbers that you need, go ahead and make that change. You go ahead and make sure that everybody's getting those and that it's a priority for you. The other thing that you need to stand in is when you see red beams, especially in phase 2, you'll see these red beams on the ground, and you do need to make sure that everybody, or that at least one person is standing in each of them to get rid of them and to reset that ability. The other thing that you need to understand about this fight is that it's pretty much, you want to fill your room with 50 energy each. So as soon as you get each room to 50 energy, then you can enter the next room. But because your raid is split up into two groups, what you need to understand is that one group may push a little bit before the other, so there are hooks available, and you'll see them when you drop down. And what you can do is two players can take these hooks and go over to the other side and help them DPS. So try to divide your DPS as evenly as possible, but understand that if one group does finish decently ahead of time, make sure you're keeping track of what level each is at and how many more adds each side needs, so that way you can try to time it so it works out, so that you're getting into the next room as soon as possible at the same amount of time. So if you need to send a DPS over, all they have to do is just click on the hook, go to the other side and help DPS, and then they can go back to their side. Once you've done this twice, it's rinse and repeat, you've killed the boss. But the other things that you really need to understand for this fight, guys, is how much energy each crate gives you. There is a breakdown obviously in the dungeon journal that will explain exactly how much each one gives you. So while you're going through, figure out what's the easiest way for your raid to do it. Now what we did is we used our lust and our second pots on the bigger ad. So if we had a bigger ad that we were getting, or a large ad that we were breaking out, we would use our bloodlust on that point, or a time warp or heroism, whatever it is you're using, we would use it at that point. And then the second time we would get a big boss, we'd make sure that we had our 3-minute CDs up, that we were ready to go so that we could burn it down as quickly as possible. The biggest thing in this fight is the only real personal responsibility debuff in this fight is the bomb mechanic. If you do get selected to have the bombs, you'll get an extra action button, and what you need to do is you need to run out of the raid to a place where the raid won't be going. Once you're there, you need to press your extra action button, drop a bomb, move away, drop a bomb, move away, drop a bomb, and then go back to doing your DPS. The trick is you don't want these to explode in your raid. Obviously they do a ton of damage, they will kill people, and you don't want to put them where your raid is going to be going. So you don't want to set up your tank and your and all your melee DPS up for failure, or your healers up for failure, because you're laying the bombs where they're going to be. So while you're DPSing all this trash, it does seem a little hectic, but it's really not if you just calm down and make sure that you're watching out for the important things. So again, if you stay out of tornadoes, stay out of yellow circles, drop the bombs away from raid where raid's going to be. Make sure that you're using the lift hooks to go back and forth to even out your DPS if needed. Make sure you're picking up the orb buff. Make sure that you're all standing in the red beams. You can do this fight really easy, guys. It's a piece of cake. It's a trash boss. You'll get your free loot. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.